That's really what drew me to Stonehouse, is the ability to create something special that maybe isn't being offered in this local area, so that people can take advantage of that and really plan for their financial futures.
So Katie Johnston, new to Stonehouse, but not new to the financial industry. So I have a lot of things that I'd like to talk with the folks that will be watching this about why we're excited at Stonehouse that you joined us. And thank you for that, by the way. But I'd like to actually let them get to know you a little bit as a person before we talk about what you're doing here at Stonehouse now. So folks might recognize your face, might recognize your name, but there's probably more people that you're new to. So I'd like to just talk, if you would give me I know it's awkward to talk about yourself without sounding braggadocious, but I'm asking you the question. So let us understand, where did you grow up, and where'd you go to school, things like that.
I grew up in Sugar Run, Pennsylvania, and went to Wyalusing Valley School District.
Okay.
Graduated from there and headed to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, to King's College, and earned my degree in finance there. After that, I was working in the oil and gas industry for several years, doing title searching.
That was probably really a busy job.
It was, yeah.
When things were flying. And
yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The courthouse was always full.
Yeah. It's like elbow to elbow, I think, at times, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That sort of work started to die out in this area. And once that happened, I went to GTP in Towanda, Pennsylvania, and I worked as a purchasing analyst there. Yeah. And really enjoyed that job. It was a very interesting job, but there was just something missing for me. I really wanted to be working with people, helping people. And so that's what really made me decide to transition to getting licensed as a financial advisor, so that I could be working and helping people in the community.
Sure. Did you find your calling? This is what you like to do? You seem really passionate. It's one of the things that attracted us to you. Like, you seem very passionate about helping folks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you mentioned you grew up, where you grew up at Bradford County, Northeast PA. Mm-hmm. What do you like about Northeast PA, Bradford County?
What I like the most is the scenery. I just love the beauty of northeastern Pennsylvania. Every season is gorgeous. But I also really love the small communities that we live in. Everybody knows each other and supports each other. I recently attended the Greater Valley Chamber of Commerce annual dinner, and I was just overwhelmed with a sense of community and support for all of the local businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really weird to say this, but I was just driving back from Sayre to Tunkhannock yesterday, and by Asylum there, I was looking out over that, and it's just absolutely breathtaking on certain days when you can really see far.
Yeah.
And it's so sad. I've never stopped there to take a look at that. And it's just crazy, right? We take that for granted because we live around it all day long, but that view is spectacular. So I know exactly what you're talking about. All right. So I would love to ask you about, I know, like I said earlier, I know what I want to say about you that attracted us to saying, like, we really want to work with her. But what is it that's, let me put it this way. You and I were out, I should have announced this in the beginning. We are opening a Sayre office. So you and I were spending time in town yesterday, looking at the space, getting it ready. And we'll hopefully have a nice ribbon cutting coming up soon. But I mentioned to you that I was looking around on the internet, doing some digging about other firms that are out there doing business like us in the Sayre, Towanda area. And you essentially said to me, Bob, there's really no one doing it like Stonehouse, right?
Right.
And I love that. I think that, everybody's got a little bit of different flavor that they're serving up and that they're providing. And you seem to think that what we're doing was really a great fit for you. Can you share what those things are, or what that one thing is?
Yeah. So when I first met with you and Scott and John, it was very apparent to me that the way that you are operating your firm is extremely innovative, and you are creating an elite customer experience for the clients. And that was something that I really wanted to be able to provide to my clients and to my future clients. It really just felt like a good fit as far as creativity goes. We're working on the office in Sayre, and I've been having a blast trying to get that together and design the office space.
I'm glad you are.
I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
So that's really what drew me to Stonehouse, is the ability to create something special that maybe isn't being offered in this local area, so that people can take advantage of that and really plan for their financial futures.
Yeah, well, I love that you said that, because I'm 25 years doing this, right? It was just me originally, and now there's a team of 20 some people around us, 25, I think, if you count the accounting office as well. So everything that we have that seemed to be like attractive to you has been hand selected and built because of two things: because of the clients over many years asking for that. Can you also do this? Can you help me with that? And then also finding the people around us inside the company that have the skill sets to do it. And not just the skill sets, but building the technology to support it. I mean, it just takes time, and it's constantly growing. So I'm thrilled when I have somebody that has your expertise, that takes a look under the hood, that says, hey, that's exactly what I want to be doing. How can we work together? So earlier you talked about, your passion for helping people, to help them sort out whatever they have going on in their life based, around financial topics, which is where a lot of folks need help. Just need a little guidance, bring it all together usually. So you're talking about, the office is going to be in Sayre, and you're, with your being from Wyalusing. So you're going to be working largely in Bradford County, a lot in the Sayre, Towanda corridor, if you will.
Right.
Can I use that phrase? I don't know if that's a phrase. I'll coin it here. But in that situation, or in that location and geography, are there groups of people that you feel like that you maybe have some specific set of issues, or maybe they're working all in the same place, that you think have some common ground, that really what you have now available to you at Stonehouse really helps you go out and help those people? Mm-hmm. Are there groups of people like that?
Yeah, definitely. One that comes to mind is GTP in Towanda, Pennsylvania. I mentioned that I worked there previously, and so I have some background knowledge on the retirement plan there. And I know there's recently been a letter sent out about those who are eligible for the pension plan, that is going to be terminated, and now there's some decisions that need to be made. So anytime anything like that comes up, it's always good to meet with a financial advisor to really make sure you understand those options that you have, to make sure you're choosing what's going to best fit your life.
Yeah. And as we talked when that letter first came out, terminating a defined benefit plan is not unusual. It's been going on for a long time, but it does sort of cause agita, if you will, to folks that are working there. And all of a sudden there's a change. There was a no, and all of a sudden it's not. It might still be a benefit, and it might be better, it might be worse, but they have to sort through that. So it causes a little bit of, concern, and helping anybody sort through that is really helpful. So you probably you plan on probably talking to a bunch of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. What about, you mentioned GTP. What about, I know we talked about Guthrie. You work with a lot of folks and know a lot of folks in that system. So do they have a different set of things that they're faced with, right?
Right. Well, I think with Guthrie, we all know healthcare providers are working really long hours, and the last thing they want to do after working a 12-hour shift that ends up being a 14-hour shift oftentimes.
Right.
The last thing they want to do after work or on their day off is go research what to do with the money that they've earned. So I think it's really beneficial to come meet with an advisor and let us do that work for you, so that you can focus on your work and then enjoying your time off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would say you mentioned also in past conversations, DuPont being an area right in your backyard that you have some familiarity with too. So do the folks at DuPont have different needs and issues than anybody else, or are they kind of similar?
Well, I think it's really all an individual sort of situation. Even individuals working within those different workplaces, everybody has their own individual financial needs and financial situations. So it's really beneficial to speak to each person and create their own individualized plan versus saying, oh, well, they work here, so this is going to benefit them the most, because everybody's got a different situation that they're dealing with in their lives.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that reminds me, probably good for this conversation. A lot of times, we're working with, how do I want to say it? A lot of the places you just mentioned, Geisinger, DuPont, GTP, they all have benefits there. They have people that understand the benefits within the company and that can certainly explain it more than adequately. But a lot of the value I think that we bring, and now you can bring to somebody, is to help coordinate all of that, not just what's going on at the plant or where they're employed, but with the rest of their life. And a lot of times we have, it's a small rural area of the state, right? So a lot of times we have somebody that works at Guthrie and their spouse works at GTP. And so you have to know both plans. Right. And you have to coordinate, bring that all together, right? So what kind of things, tools are you using when it comes to coordinating all that stuff? What, like in-house here at Stonehouse? You want to talk to them a little bit about what you basically employ to help coordinate and collaborate all that?
Yeah, so we use eMoney as a financial planning tool to gather all of those different aspects of your financial life and insurance life, to really take a big picture look at what you have going on and maybe where there's some gaps that need to be filled. We also use the Holistiplan tax software to do a tax analysis to make sure that you're getting the best guidance as far as your tax planning goes. So we have a lot of different tools that we can use to make sure that all those pieces are coming together to fit as you need them to.
Yeah. So what about our I might add this in here, the life stack process. So obviously, I think based on what you were saying earlier, that's one of the things that really impressed you, that you felt you were excited to bring to, the clients that you'd be working with. You maybe want to talk about that, because, I will spend an hour talking about it. So,
yeah, well, I guess I'll touch on it a little bit. And then if you have anything you want to add, you certainly can.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
But I think what most impressed me, again, going back to the innovation that you have and here, you and the partners have built this program to make sure that we are touching on everything important in people's lives. So that goes to the financial planning process, the tax analysis, estate planning, and then it also goes into, when do you take your Social Security? Do you need help getting signed up for Medicare? So we're trying to touch on everything that you are going to need to come across or encounter or plan for in your future.
Yeah, that was great. I don't need to do more of a commercial for it. The only things I would add is just the simplicity of it. It's life can be really complex. The simplicity of our life stack system is kind of visually throwing it up on the screen so everybody can see. And we just knock off an item at a time, right? You can't address everything. You'll be there for days. Yep. But I think, to your point, when most people think about retirement, they think of it as like a 1-month process. I'm working this month. I won't be next month. I need help for the next 30 days. Most of our work just starts at that point, right? And then I can't tell you how many times, and you've seen it, right, in your time in the industry, where life happens, and it just, they come in and go, well, I didn't expect this, but now I've got to help my kids do this, or my parent needs special care for this. And, so you're trying to figure out how things can be coordinated. And that's part of that life stack process, right? Real quick, I know we certainly have worked with a lot of natural gas landowners, but you've worked with a lot of folks that are getting royalties, right? And you see, you're familiar with that group of people, right, that are constantly trying to figure out, in your past history and experience with working with royalty owners, what do you think that they're coming to you? What are they looking for?
So I would say most often royalty owners are really looking for, how do I protect this money? How do I keep it safe? But then you also have some people that are saying, hey, this is going to be for the future. How do I plan for this to pass to the next generations? So we are really able to come in and help put together a plan to make sure that whatever it is that those people are looking to do with the money, we're able to help make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. How do I pay less to Uncle Sam?
Right.
And how do I make sure my money is safe?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the two priority things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I wrote down a couple things. I said I wanted to say a couple things before we end this conversation about what I think really attracted us to you. So this is where you have to go and put your humble hat on, because I just wanted to say this, some things that really stood out to my partners and I when we first started talking to you and see if we could make this thing work. We felt that you were very intelligent. You're well-spoken. Maybe your best feature is that you're really a good listener, which is important to us because we can't stop talking. But I think that's really important for an advisor. You need to listen to the clients first and find out where their trouble spots are, right? And then that's how you can help them. And then there might be some bigger, broader things that you can help them stay on track. But I think you need to address those pain points first. And I think you seem to really do a good job of that. You're well respected. You have a passion for learning. We talked about this, a desire to help people. And I love that you were born and raised right in the area that you're working in. That almost everybody here was born and raised in Northeast PA. We have one person who's working out in Cincinnati, but that's where his target market is with Procter & Gamble. So, did I leave any of the good stuff out? Is there more that you'd like to say, or do you just want to say, Bob, stop talking? It's embarrassing.
Yeah, we'll go with that one.
So you're going to, we are in the process right now as we're recording this. This next month or so, we're going to be renovating the space in Sayre. It's probably too early to go and announce the actual address of it, but we're going to be working on that office. I think you're going to do a lot of sweat equity on that, which I really appreciate because I'm used to doing it myself. And we'll get that thing up and running here by early in the summer. And but in the meantime, I think this video goes out ahead of that. So people, you're still working, you're still meeting in our other offices. So how will people get in touch with you?
I think the best way to get in touch with me right now would be to use my email, which is kjohnston@stonehousemail.com.
Yep.
And then, of course, I'm sure that our amazing marketing director is going to be adding links in so that you can click and go to the page, the Stonehouse webpage, and you can find all of our advisors' information at the Stonehouse webpage.
Yep. And you'll see this wonderful video and you'll be like, oh, erase that thing, right? Yeah. Well, Katie, I really appreciate it. I know you were hesitant. Everybody hates doing these videos, but they always come out better than you think. So I really appreciate it. And the reason I think it's really important, folks will want to work with you and they'll want to know more about what you're doing. And I think this gives them a chance to just get to know you a little bit more and get to know Stonehouse. And I look forward to working with you for many, many years. And I can't thank you enough for saying yes to Stonehouse and making this happen. And let's build this thing.
Yep, let's do it.
All right.